So I wrote a poem about tutoring that I'm going to share. It says, Tutoring. Finally teaching my own lessons. Writing lessons. Oh, how easy they have gotten. Students who are excited to learn. Finding activities that are research based and still engage. Soon we will be testing again. Improvement is seen. Wow, how the time has flown. Now tutoring is done. What fun we had. And I think that my biggest highlights for this would be getting to write my own lesson plans and seeing how easy they are to create, and then also just how much fun the students had learning them. I really enjoyed getting to teach the lessons that I wrote. And yeah, after like the first ones, and I realized that I made them harder on myself than they needed to be. The lessons were really easy to write, and Fuller Research was a really big help. I plan to use it in my future classroom, even just because of how easy it was to find a lesson that worked with what I wanted my students to improve on, and then I could see improvement when we did our final testing on them. I think the next thing that I found really helpful was getting to practice the tests and just being able to see how I can help students improve in even the smallest ways. Using, like, I think that my favorite one to use was the past, doing the past with the students, and how much I could see them improve on that was really interesting. Both students that I had already did really well with the past, so then to see that there was just that little bit of improvement was really interesting. And then it was interesting to see how my students at the beginning of the semester when I just started, they didn't really know what expectations I had for them. And when we first did the test in like that first day, and I didn't really know what was happening, and they didn't really know what I wanted from them, it felt really disorganized, and like they didn't really know what they were supposed to be doing. But then the second time that I gave it at the end of the semester, they were really focused. It felt like the tests went a lot faster, and it just seemed a lot less stressful to get those tests done, and I thought that was nice. I think the other thing that really was meaningful for me this semester was the talking about like the motivation and the different lectures we had. I know the motivation was the last one we had, so it's the one that's on my mind right now, just because it is the end of the semester right now, and making sure that we find ways to keep students motivated and finishing school even, but just getting them excited about reading and using their excitement to build their knowledge and their learning, because it's so interesting to see how much their reading is what builds with their other subjects. Like, if they can't read, they can't learn science, social studies, math. And I think that's so interesting, or even writing. And I think that's so interesting. The other thing that I found really meaningful was doing the phonics once again, just because when I was in school, we did not do phonics. I think we did the whole language, and there were some things that we did with the phonics that I just found so interesting because they helped me. And I was like, wow, this is so much easier if I had known this when I started reading and even just writing and stuff, just how much phonics helps with like spelling and pronunciation. And I like that we got back into that even, and just getting to see how, like, with my students and my tutoring, we worked on some of the phonics and pronunciation, and it was really interesting to see how quickly they picked up on the different spelling patterns and even the different syllable patterns. That was that's one that they really liked, was the syllable patterns, because they could catch on to it and see the patterns and even in the rhyming words, be able to find the patterns with rhyming words. So that one was really one that I found helpful for my students. So yeah, I really enjoyed this class and I had a lot of fun, and there's a lot of stuff that I'm going to take away from it and use in my future classrooms because it was so helpful, even just for me as a student. Thank you so much for everyone who was in this class with me and for Dr. Broman.